Climate change is a fairly well-known and debated topic. Some people seem to think it will lead to our planet becoming lifeless and dry, while others think it's a hoax created by the government to sap tax dollars out of the average citizen. Whatever you think, it's happening and it's getting significantly worse. The hurricane seasons are getting more violent, forest fires are more rampant, and there's no telling what lies ahead for us. What can we do, and what's happening? And is it already too late? Firstly, let's look at the ozone layer. The ozone layer is essentially Earth's shield. It protects us from nasty ultraviolet rays that could do serious harm to the planet. This protective shield is being destroyed by compounds known as free radical catalysts. Though there are natural sources of free radical catalysts, these are not the source of depletion of the ozone. The depletion is caused by chlorofluorocarbons and halocarbons, both created by man, which is produced from factories, cars, animal agriculture, and other sources. Each radical is able to create a chain reaction which can deplete up to 100,000 ozone molecules. Depletion in the ozone is very dangerous since it can lead to skin cancers and clouting in our eyes. January of this year continued the alarming trend of global temperature increase. Across the globe, both land and sea registered at 0.71 degrees Celsius. This was the 5th highest January since the 1800s. As a matter of fact, between the years 2015 to 2018, we've registered the highest temperatures for Januaries, with 2016 being the highest. The average rate of increase has doubled since 1975. This seemingly insignificant temperature increase of 0.71 degrees Celsius may be directly responsible for some of the most recent natural disasters we've faced. Due to warmer weather arriving earlier, forests have premature springs. With snow melting and runoff occurring, this leaves forests dry to up to 4 more weeks than just 50 years ago. Forest fires are natural events, but this increased period of 1 month of dryness allows these forest fires to rage longer and do significantly more damage. Coupled with climate change increasing the amount of lightning, it's not hard to see how much damage this can do. Plus, a degree Celsius change may not seem significant at first until you realize a global temperature decrease of 2 degrees would be enough to send us into an ice age, and a 5-degree drop would be enough to kill every living species on planet Earth. The more that the temperature increases, the more crazy hurricanes we'll have, droughts and floods and other natural disasters will also become very common. Speaking of hurricanes, a warmer world would create a significantly more violent and frequent hurricane seasons. The recent 2017 hurricane season has become a massive tragedy, but global temperature change will only result in more hurricanes. A polar ice cap or a polar cap is a high altitude region of the planet that is covered by ice. The North Pole is covered by floating pack ice over the Arctic Ocean. Ice that doesn't melt can become very thick. They can grow up to 3 to 4 meters over a large area, with ice ridges growing up to 20 meters tall. South Pole in Antarctica is covered by the Antarctic ice sheet. It covers an area above 14.6 million kilometers squared and contains between 25 and 30 million kilometers cubed of ice. Around 70% of Earth's fresh water is stored here. Well, what's the problem with a bit of melting ice? Well, one example is that the melted ice actually heats up the planet. Ice sheets are white and thus reflect sunlight, which keeps the planet cooler. However, when ice melts, it becomes dark pools of water, which actually absorbs heat. What's even scarier is that these pools absorb more heat, which will in turn melt more ice caps, which will then create more dark pools, which will then increase the heat. This leads into the most concerning problem, rising sea levels. As the ice melts, its mass is added to the ocean, meaning now there's more water. Why is this a problem? Well, if there's more water, the water needs to go somewhere. Islands and coastal areas are where the water will go. Rising sea levels cause a lot of damage and engulf islands, cities, and even entire countries. The IPCC projects that sea levels will rise about 18 to 59 centimeters in this millennium. This will be enough to put countries like Maldives and cities like New York and Shanghai underwater. This is all very depressing, and judging from some of the policy decisions the American government has made, it may not seem like it's getting any better. However, we can't give up hope, because hope is the solution to this problem. The biggest issue climate change activists face is apathy. We've made large strides towards reducing the harmful effects we've done to the planet. Nature conservation, cleaning projects, and agreements such as the Paris Climate Accord still exist, and people are fighting harder. For example, an agreement in 2007 has agreed to reduce the amount of chlorofluorocarbons used by 200 countries, and with this we expect the ozone to be replenished by the next century. Other examples include Canada. Canada has invested $1.5 billion into ocean protection. India plans to make all its car electrics by 2030, and China has invested $350 billion into renewable resources. And both the European Union and China have both agreed to reach their respective peak fossil fuel uses by 2030 and plan to go down after that. It's not clear if we're winning or losing the climate change battle, but if we are winning, we're not winning by much. The race is on to keep global temperature averages under 2 degrees Celsius, and it's going to take all of us to do so. We are the generation born too late to explore the new world, and born too early to explore stars, but we were born at the right time to save the world. And that's how we leave our mark on history.